everyone, Miss Orlando here again with your second Google Drive tutorial. This one's for creating and sharing documents with Docs. This is actually going to be a really fun one, I think, just because we get to dive in really deeply into what exactly can Google Drive and Google Docs, what can it do for us? So really quickly, the first thing I want to talk about are, well, what is Google Docs? First thing is there are a couple different ones. These are the bigger ones. But we've got documents, presentations, spreadsheets, drawings, and forms. So documents here is what we're pretty much going to be looking at in class most of the time. Documents is also what this particular tutorial is going to be focused on. All a document is a blank page that you're able to type into. All right, so super simple, but there's just so much we can do with that. Presentations is a PowerPoint, sort of like a PowerPoint. You're able to have different slides that you can present something. We'll also be using that for a few different activities this year. Spreadsheets, I don't really use in class very often. Every now and then we might use them. It's comparable to Excel, exactly the same. And it pretty much just is a spreadsheet, all right? Drawings we use when we need to do non-linguistic representations. It pretty much just means a drawing. So we'll use that sometimes. And then forms I use a lot for tests, actually. So you'll kind of be introduced to that today as well for a little bit. All right, so those are our Google Docs. So let's go ahead and get into our drive, my drive here. So this is Drive. This is what mine looks like. You saw this last time. Let's just talk a little bit about what kinds of things we have here. So the first thing is, this is the default is going to be on my drive. So this is all of my documents that I have, and all my folders and everything. So anytime that you create a document, or you save it to your drive, you'll be able to see it here, okay? Now, when I send you a document, this is where you're going to find it. It's going to be in the Shared with Me section. You'll be able to find it here, and you'll also be able to find it in your school email, all right? So if you click on that, these are all the documents that people have shared with me, so it's pretty fun. So what will happen is you'll see my name here, okay, the date that I shared it with you, and then what the title of that document is, okay? It also tells you if it's a doc, or down here you'll see like a form. I've got a presentation. So right here it's a whole file, so that's pretty exciting too, okay? Google Photos we won't really use as much, and it looks like they're actually it's not even available quite yet. So I haven't ever used that in class before, obviously, so we'll see if we can incorporate that when that comes available. Recent is actually really helpful as well. Recent just means what's the last thing that I looked at. So it looks like the last thing I looked at was the Google Drive tutorials that we're doing right now. If you star something, it'll come up here. Okay, so that's something that I need to go back to, or there's a reason that I want to look at it again. So if you star something, and how to star it, I can show you if you go back to your drive. And I want to go ahead and let's say let's do Highwayman. And then we're going to do the theme handout. Okay, so here's my handout here. If I want to star it, all I'm going to do is look at the title here, and there's a little star. I just click that star, and now it's yellow. And now if I go back, it'll be in there. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Trash is self-explanatory, guys. This is all the stuff that I don't need anymore, right? So how it works is you're just going to click and drag. And I don't want that to actually be there or not. Oh, and that gives you all your files too. If I click like that, this is all of my folders too. So those are all the folders in my drive. All right, cool. So that's what that is. Now let's talk a little bit about these up here. I am going to mention up here a little bit this cube here. I call it the cube. It's really helpful. If you click on it, all the different things come up. So you've got your drive here, docs, sheets, slides. It's just an easy way to let's say I want to go to docs really easily. I'm just going to click on the docs and docs comes up and I have that right there for me. Okay, so if I ever say click the cube, you know it's going to be at the top right hand corner next to where your initial is up here. Okay, and that comes up like that. All right, so these over here, this is your settings. Okay, so if you click on that, you can kind of see what your settings are. You really don't need to mess with these at all. If you have questions about your settings, if you want to just ask me in class, I can help you if you feel like you want to change something. But don't change anything without asking first, okay? This is an information area. So, or it gives you more information about things. So if, let's say I want to know when I created something, who's looked at it, any activity that's happening with it, if I click this, it gives me all that information. And then you just click it again to not have that information there. If you want to sort your information, or if you want to sort your folders and documents, you can do it by last modified, name. So these are different ways that you can sort them if you want to sort them different ways. That's completely up to you as long as you can find things. I don't mind. This makes things so that they are icons. Okay, so that's pretty cool if you want that, or you can have them in a list of text. I prefer the text just because it's easier for me to see, but it's up to you. You can do either one. Here's some more actions. So if you want to move something, if you want to move a document, you want to add a star, change your color, rename, view details, download. These are all options here. I'm not going to go too far into depth with this stuff, but if you do want to do something, just ask me before, especially like moving things around or color changing. I don't mind if you want to have things different colors. That's fine with me. But just make sure if you have a doubt, ask before you do something, okay? Here's another trash can. So you have your trash here, and you also have your trash here. If you want to share, now this is something we need to talk about. If you want to share a document or a folder, just click it, and there's a bunch of different ways to do this, by the way. I'll show you both ways. But you're going to click it. You are going to click share, and then a little box comes up that says share with others. Now, there's two ways you can do this. You can either enter the person's email address, okay, and you can decide, do you want them to mess with it or you want them to just look at it? You can decide that. So once their email address is in there, let's say you want to send it to me. So my email address is, all right, and you can say, take a look at this. Thanks, all right. Then you can click send, and it goes right to my email, okay? Now, if I ever, this is important, if I ever share something with you, you don't have to share it back. It's already shared with me, okay? So the only time you need to share something with me is if you created the document yourself and I'm not on that document already, okay? So if you find it in the shared with me file, so if it's in this section, you don't need to worry about sharing it, okay? But if you come up here, and let's talk about creating the documents. If you come up here and you see this new button that's red, you're going to click new, all right? And let's say you want to create a Google Doc, okay? And this is my document. No one else has access to this document at all yet. It's not been shared. It's just mine, okay? So let's say that I want to do, take some notes on today's class, okay? And I'm over here, I'm typing my notes and, you know, blah, 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 blah. All right, so these are my notes, not very good ones, but that's what we're going to do for now. Now, let's say that I want to share this, okay? The other way that you can share it is this right here. So right now it says it's private, only I have access. But if I want to send this, let's say I want to send this to my friend who didn't get to take the notes because they were sick that day, or I want to send it to, you know, my mom or dad, they want to look at it. Either way, what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and put that person's email in here. You're going to decide what permissions you want to give them. Again, do you want them to be able to mess inside of it? Do you want, you know, can they type things in there that you didn't type? Or do you want them to just view it? Or do you want them to be able to comment? You get to decide. So I'm going to say, okay, I want them to be able to view. And then I'm going to click done there. Okay, it's not going to let me. Oh, okay. And then what's going to happen? Actually, I'm going to do it for real here. I'll send it to, how would I send it to my mom? All right. So I'm going to send. Okay. just click yes if whenever that little thing comes up, and I just shared it, okay? And it's going to say that it's shared. Now, a really quick way to know if a document's shared or not is you're going to notice, okay, I'm actually going to go to recent so I see the last thing I did. Okay, do you see those two little people right there? That shows me that that's a shared document. So that one's shared, that one's not, right? So that gives you a little idea. Those two little people tell us that the document has been shared, okay? Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about the different things that we can do in Google Docs, okay? So this is a handout that I gave my students last year. And we were talking about theme, and we read a poem called The Highwayman. So the first thing I want us to look at is there are a bunch of different things up here, different things that you can do in Google Docs, okay? So the first thing, if you want to print, that's the print button. Now, these two buttons are actually super important because I've had students freak out because they think they deleted something in their document or they think they messed something up. All they have to do is click the undo button, and whatever they just did is gone, okay, which is great. So let's say, oh no, I deleted, all of this. It's all deleted. It's gone. Well, if I just click undo, it all comes right back. So that's really great. All right. And same for redo. If you do something and you want to redo it, you can click that button. Paint format just changes the colors of things. So we normally, if you're turning in a document, I'm going to ask that you keep the document the same color. In other words, don't mess with the text color or the document color, just because it's hard for me to read sometimes when it's all different colors. If you like things to be smaller or bigger, you can use the zoom. So if you kind of want to see, how this is be able to see things a lot more, you can do that. Or if you want to see it really close up, you can do it like that. I like to keep it at 100% because it's a little easier. This text styles just means what kind of style do you want the text to have. So and this is something if you want to use, you can. You don't really need to. But it's all the different ways that you can change the text style if you want. Font styles are here. Now, I'm just going to say, if you are turning in a assignment into me, I'm going to ask that you only use Times New Roman, okay? So we're not going to be using anything besides Times New Roman if you're turning it into me, okay? So that's super important. If you are using it as your own personal notes or something that it's yours, go to town. You can do any of these you like, okay? But Times New Roman is the font that I'd like if you're turning in like an essay or an assignment for me for a grade, okay? So Times New Roman is the one we want, and I'll go ahead and put that up for you guys. Okay, so font size, you can use any of these font sizes if it's your own notes or whatever, but if you're using them for turning in something, 12 is the size that I would like you to use, okay? So 12 is our font size. We've got a bold, we've got italicize, underline. Okay, so if you want to bold something, it just makes it look a little bit darker, okay? If you want to italicize it, it makes it look a little more slanty. Underlining, obviously, is just underlining. If you want your text to be a different color, let's say you want it to be green, that hurts my head, then you're more than welcome to change text colors for your own documents. If you are turning it in, though, I'm going to ask that it's black, okay? And then the other thing to just notice, sometimes I'll ask you guys to highlight in Google Docs. So how to highlight is you're going to click on this A, click on the little arrow next to it, and then click the highlight button. And then a lot of times there's going to be a highlight key, so you're going to know which color to do what thing. Let's say it's going to be yellow, so you just click the yellow, and then that is that, okay? So the text is on one side, highlights on the other. We're not going to worry about, oh, and actually if I want this not to be highlighted now, I can come over to undo, and it's very cool. All right, so we're not going to worry about inserting links because I don't think that's something we need to really talk about today, but we will talk about the next button. So another thing I'm going to ask you guys to do is create comment boxes. And how you do that is you're going to highlight the information that you want to comment on, And then there's a lot of different options. So you can either click this button, add a comment, or this button to add a comment, okay? And then you're going to get a little comment box on the side. All you're going to do is type in the answer to the question or the insight that you have. So I'm just going to write, this is a comment. All right, pretty exciting commentary there. And I'm going to just click that blue comment button, and then it's going to automatically highlight in kind of a, it's not quite the same yellow, it's a little like orangey yellow, but highlight the information that you commented on, and then your comment will pop up right there, okay? Other things to look at here, you've got your left align, your center align, and your right align. So if you want to kind of see how that works, you can click on that. This is justify. We're not going to really worry about justify. I don't think that's something you'll need to worry about in this class, all right? So I'm going to put that back where it's supposed to be. All right, line spacing. If you're turning in an essay or an assignment to be graded, I would prefer that it is double, okay? Gives me a little space to comment if I want to print it out and comment on it, or comment in Google. I can do either way. All right. The other thing I'm going to ask that you do, please, is not mess with, like, if you have information in the document I send you, don't mess with the line spacing or any of this formatting, just because it does take some time to change it back, okay? So just make sure that you just kind of leave that stuff alone. All right, so if you want to use or include numbers or bulleted lists in your notes, then this is where you're going to get those. So if you want a number, that comes up. If you want a bullet, that comes up. So go ahead and you can mess with that stuff too if you'd like. And then these buttons increase and decrease your indent. So if you remember correctly, an indent is just a little space at the beginning of a paragraph, okay? So let's say I'm writing a paragraph. This is a lot of very exciting stuff to write about, okay? I just want to show you the shape. So let's say this is a paragraph here. It's not a very long one. I just want a little space at the beginning of that paragraph to show it's a new paragraph, okay? So what this is going to do is it's going to change your indents here. So it's going to either make it longer or shorter depending on how many times you click on it. So that's an option there as well if you'd like to work with that. And then this is formatting. You don't want to ever clear your formatting because things get a little messy, all right? So try not to do that for me. Okay, cool beans. So those are all the tools in Google Docs. Up here, you're going to see a few other little things too. You've got your file. You can create a new document here. You can open an old document. You can rename a document that you have. If you want to make a copy of one before you share it, you're more than welcome to do that too, and it just makes a complete carbon copy. So you'll have two of them. One can be shared, one you can have on your own. I always like to do that just so I have my own copy people aren't messing with. You can also see revision history. What have I done here? So it looks like I did a lot. I guess it looks like I did some things here. So, and these are actually from November even. It kind of goes a long way. So that's really interesting. And the cool thing too is I can actually see your revision history of your document. So I can see what you did to each one and like the time even. So it's pretty cool that Google has that for you. Okay. All right, cool. So that is pretty much the important stuff. We're not going to worry about the rest there. A lot of these things are things that I already showed you that, it's the same. So, you can print here, but you can also print here. So I'm not really going to go through all of those because a lot of this stuff here is the same. So, but if you do have questions, please let me know, okay? I think I'm going to go ahead and stop it here. We covered a lot of information. If you need to go back and look at things again, please be my guest and do that. I'm the type of person who learns that I actually have to get in there and try it myself. So if you would like to go ahead and go into your Google Drive account, go into your Google Docs, and just kind of click around, make some fun stuff. the assignment for this tutorial, I would like you to first of all do the quiz. All right, so that's the first one, and please remember though as well the quizzes you can only take them once. So my suggestion is to take notes throughout, especially with this one because there's a lot of different little things. So my suggestion is take notes as you're listening. And that way you have it as you're taking the quiz. So that's the first thing. The second thing I would like you to do is when you are in your Google Drive, while you're messing around, share a document with me, okay? And what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you my email address here. I'll type it for you if I can. Okay. So my email address is this, okay, at myscps.us. And I'll go ahead and make that a little bigger for you. Ooh, too big. But if you want to go ahead and just share it with me, this is my email address, and that would be fantastic, okay? Oh, and actually, there is one other thing I do want to mention with this. A lot of my kids had trouble with this last year. So with Google Drive, what happens is when you go into shared with me, you'll find that information. If let's say I shared with you the assignment for the day, so you'd click it, it'd be here, it's perfect. But sometimes when you're at home, and this happens a lot at home, your Google Drive is going to come up with this little error message. Okay, so you're going to click on it. Usually it's when you get it emailed to you. You're going to click on the document and this comes up. It says you need permission to access this item. Now, what happens is Google, when you have your own personal Gmail, which I know a lot of people have, when you sign into your internet browser and you sign into Google with your school Gmail, your personal Gmail is still there. You didn't sign out of it. It's still there. And what's going to happen is your computer is going to go with the email that is your personal one, and it's going to look at that, and I only shared it with your school email. So your personal email I didn't share it with. So it doesn't think you have permission because I didn't share it with your personal email, okay? So all of that to say, what you need to do is either sign out completely of your personal email in Gmail, okay? So this is only if you have a Gmail account. So personal Gmail account. So you're going to sign out of it completely, and then it should work. The other option, so you don't have to always sign out of your Gmail or your parents' Gmail. I know that's annoying. The other option is to have a separate internet browser when you're at home. So let's say you use Chrome. Your family uses Chrome. Well, download Firefox and just tell everyone in your family, hey, Firefox is for school. And when you sign into your Gmail, only sign into your school Gmail there. Do not sign into your personal email. Personal Gmail. And then you won't have any problems. Okay, so that's my suggestion for dealing with that situation. All right, so this has gotten really long, so I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. If you have any questions, please let me know, okay? You can shoot me an email. Again, this is my email here. Or you can just let me know in class, okay? So I hope everyone learned something, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.